All right, welcome back. We're going to do Defend One, and we actually have a guest this time, which is Owen.
Yeah, baby, let's go. Oh, can you guys quickly just drop me in? What's going on right now?
You tell the story so far, I guess.
You should know, Owen. You gotta play the game. We went from the manor. We got the spectrum maybe, or we didn't, and then it's pretty sociopathic. We had to, or did we even have to, hunt down the witnesses because a guy is blackmailing us to take them out, and we just did. And
So
then we
basically,
cut away in the meantime to one of your guys, Redhand. This is the voice of Redhand who is speaking to here. Redhand, Octave, and to a lesser extent, Cadmus. But yeah, Redhand was talking to Malachi. What? Shots fired about Cadmus? No, it's good.
all right,
He's got to come out in his flesh for this.
So basically, okay, we've killed a load of people, hunt down the survivors, and then now what's going on? So the Balnae Pensiles referendum on succession from Mass City, but now corporal punishment has to. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes more sense. But now corporal punishment has begun his invasion of Mass City with a trolling show of force. Right, so we got a cutscene coming up.
We got to defend Mass City then.
We got to defend this outpost thing.
Two guys.
But in the long term, we got to defend Mass City as well.
Sure.
Hey, shh. I'm not upset with you.
So,
Well,
I mean, we could watch this, but to be honest, we usually just talk over everything and just talk about
we need
production.
Oh, it's Johnny Five Aces.
guys, forget production. There's real acting going on.
You sure? Because I kind of remember.
Yeah, but none of it's you, so it's all right.
This is so top grade.
But Johnny Five Aces. So Johnny Five Aces here. He was a character from Zyborn Clock, which is another game invented by someone on the internet who. It's like a steampunk game that got ripped the piss out of, and there was only ever some designs for and some concept art, but we obviously had to include Johnny Five Aces.
So he lives. Johnny Five Aces lives still.
Yeah, he's now in an actual game. Yeah.
And as you so passionately wept, he cares not for what you do.
What do you think of the animation budget, Owen?
To sell a scapegoat like me.
You can tell you've paid your actors way too much, and you blew all of your acting budget.
I mean, we didn't pay the actors anything, I don't think. Unless you got paid, maybe
I think that's what he means.
Yeah.
Kill everyone. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them.
You want to capitalize? Sure. Well,
Yeah, but this was one of the first cutscenes I made when I finally had to sit down and just make all these fucking cutscenes.
Everything they need against
There's a bit earlier on where Johnny Five Aces turns his head to the side. That's made of about 8 or 10 frames.
This
It took
bit's
fucking
good.
ages and lasts less than a second.
I mean, which I could use
But
I love this
a
bit.
lot more sense, but let's go with this.
I like the cards.
right.
I,
So yeah, this is the reference to what
and the King of Spades eventually.
yeah, that Zybon thing. But I mean, it's just very silly.
deck.
Can we just appreciate how good?
Yeah, no, I was
Top.
pretty pleased with that, though it's a bit lazy, but
I just
yeah, I was
throw
pleased
the
with
top
it.
card on the floor when I put another at the back. Whatever.
Dynamic. I like it.
Also,
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
Can we run down
did-
who's acting
events
each
you
part?
must encounter. Time works.
Yeah, that major is Joel. Johnny Five Aces is my old housemate Rob. He does a brilliant job with Five Aces, and he is also in this level. He plays Alexander Dumas Fils, who talks to Kador's daughter, who is played by Jazzy. To the far left.
Well, how should we do the level then? Should we start over here? Should we just start left to right?
Let's start with Owen. We probably
Right.
shouldn't talk to everyone.
So this is Owen's here. That's your character.
Owen's talking to Good Lips.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
So
Good
let's
Lips.
Say it, but the antediluvian middle classes, they're responsible.
is the antediluvian middle classes line straight off the bat. That's the best line.
Personal responsibility.
What do you think of
this
your
is
character's
like-
portrait here, Owen?
I'd still rather be over there. Did the Teacher Brothers already forget that they were once new money?
Your aspirations are gross. Aspirations.
So that's an old person we know called Becca. She didn't think her performance was good, but I thought it was really good. Maybe because she didn't consider that she was acting that much, but it's good. I don't think she even knows it's released, so I got to get in contact and let that person know.
That's what I reckon.
Pretty evidency. It's true.
Hashtag what?
Justice for Becca. What performance? She's nailing it.
Yeah, all right, let's get that started. But I gotta praise you. I gotta praise because you kind of came off the bat with a lot of energy. It's got a lot of energy, and I think that shines properly in the follow-up of this level, which is the second part of this level. This is the first level that has two parts, where you're just talking to the protagonist over info link, giving him quote-unquote helpful hints that aren't really helpful at all. You're just like spamming him with stuff, but it's
We'll
a
get
lot
to
of
that
energy. It's
later,
all the
yeah.
good vibes. It's really good. And I remember when you did it, you kind of just like went blow, like it just came out of your mouth. You totally got what the whole point of it was. So yeah, that was great. Thanks again.
Right, which option do we want here?
None of these options really
What?
I just picked
yeah,
one.
none of these options really involve you anymore. This is you were introduced. So you were playing in this character. So when I wrote him, I wrote him kind of. He was supposed to be quite smarmy, and I think you took it in a different direction. But back then, I mean, you were probably among within the first 5 or whatever people who fucking took up the lead and took up a fucking acting part, and that was fucking again just gonna fucking slather my tongue all over every fucking guest who comes onto this
No way, man. Do it.
7 on back.
I
But
remember sending me the script. I remember that. I remember you coming around with the recording device and us getting in like a little cupboard with like a bunch of duvets around us and doing some recording. That was good shit.
must have the hymnal must have kicked in at that point. I don't remember that. But no, that's a dark joke. Sorry. But yeah, I don't remember the duvets though. I don't know what that's for. But fucking yeah, you fucking went for it. And it was early. It was early stages, and it was like, okay, I don't know what this is yet. So you bring what you feel to it, and it wasn't originally how I envisioned it, but you made it something that was a thing as well, so that goes for it. And I remember at that time, sorry, I rant a lot, but I'll stop soon. I remember at that time coming to the tail end of writing other stuff and realizing, you know what, good writing, quote unquote, whatever, like if you get a good actor, your line doesn't have to be good, really. Like a good actor will just fucking find a way for it. And in a sense, like maybe that's what an actor should treat every line as like they're a car, and they should like, oh, I got some roads to go on. You know, maybe it's not a nice straight piece of road, but it's some fucking roads to put my wheels on. You know, every line is an opportunity to get some juice and play with some shit. Yeah, it was good shit, man.
From the other side, I would say if you're driving, if someone makes you the autobahn, it's easier to get up to like 90 miles an hour, you know. So like, it definitely
right.
kind of weird thing. Also about the duvet thing, I'd recently listened to a podcast. This is about 8 years ago. We were fucking recording this. I listened to a podcast about people talking about listening to recording podcasts. And they said that what they did was get into their cupboards and stuff, put duvets up around to like reduce sound dampening. So I think I was quite insistent that we try and like ghetto production in my bedroom as much of a sound dampening thing as possible. So that's
no fucking way.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, man. Shit, sorry, I thought you were joking.
No. It's all about that podcast lore. Guys, just going back to the game right now. I had no idea it would be. It would feel so much like an adventure. Like in my mind, right, we were going to be coming on. There's going to be like a lot of like side scrolling, shooting.
Oh, there is. It's a funny level to jump into because it's basically just chatting to people at the start.
I quite like that. I like the fact that there's this kind of element of the world, and like you as a character has this kind of like way to go around and interact with it. It feels way more like an adventure game than I thought.
There's a
recommend
few
it,
levels like that. Oh, you recommend the game? Yeah, I mean, so do I. But...
But yeah, no, this is one of the like first levels that is like a talking fucking simulator thing. But it's good. I like it. I'm glad it's like the fourth level and kind of early because it's kind of more of a representation of like some kind of shit that I like to indulge in, and I'm glad people get to see it. There's another level later on, Corset Tower, which is probably the most up to. It's like my most like if anyone were to judge the writing, that is like we can talk about it when we get to there if we get to there. But like I'm glad people are likely to see this at any stage. That's Hugo, by the way.
Yeah, I was thinking
That's
it's that
Hugo, the
Hugo.
guy we're talking to now.
Really amazing.
He does
Hang on,
fucking great.
Oh
too.
no, I used up all the lines. I can't
Oh,
talk to him again.
We talked it. You'll find it when you play it. It's fine.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, got to keep me on edge.
Oh look, there's a piano. What does this do?
What are these torn?
Piano is a future piano.
Oh, right, but there's just some
So what
torn
are
up
your
pieces of
thoughts,
cards
Owen?
inside.
I think that if I'm
What do
going
you-
to be honest, so far with the way that we're playing it is set up, the commentary is so loud I can't really hear too much of the game.
All right,
But
let's
for visuals,
Let's-
stunning.
let's bump the sound a bit so you can hear.
Ooh.
Like
Right.
I think it's really beautiful. I think like the way the game seems to be playing is really cool. But I'm not gonna lie, I want to get on some killing. I want to see Greg fucking own some noobs.
I'll do it in a sec. We've got to do this. There's a lot more in this level. So I mean,
Oh, is there?
yeah. Just firstly to talk about the background, it's pretty mental. I remember Dan, you had this background. You came with it. It's just very bizarre, like octopuses, and I think basically because of the way the colors are, it came out really strange with these like bits. But I mean, I think it works. And obviously this big screen, it's just there's a lot going on, but it kind of works, I think.
Can I tell you what it gives me the impression of? It gives me the impression of like a super rich villain who has got this like old like Atlantean like mural situation going on, or like across this huge wall, and it's got this really sick like I don't know, the structure in the middle with all the bugs coming out. It's kind of like it looks quite like under the sea from the bottom, and then all the bugs are kind of like them going to the land.
It's not a million miles away, right, Dan?
Yeah, no, pretty much. I mean, these are supposed to be opulent, rich motherfuckers, and that isn't I didn't illustrate that. I went over a pixel at a time to color it. It's originally a different color, and then Greg did some overlay. I'm not even sure what process Greg did to it, but you made it because it was looking too pixelated when I did it, and you made it softer somehow, which is a lot more pleasing to the eye. But the original image is from a mosaic, a Roman mosaic. So, and there's loads of fucking Rome fucking references and more the indulgent narcissistic aspect of Rome. And yeah, this is this setting right now is kind of everyone's at lowest upper middle class essentially, or the equivalent of that. And
I'm gonna do some of these drugs right here.
Whoa, what the fuck?
There's just drugs ready to use around on this level, so you can. Let's talk to Senator Sean Powell.
Howdy, son.
Oh yeah, there's another person you might recognize. So the guy who's Senator Sean Powell is Rusty.
Winslow Rue.
But who's this guy? Winslow Rue. Maybe you can hear his voice. He doesn't speak for a while. Winslow Rue is Eric as well. Eric does about 3 voices in this. Yeah, he does. Winslow Rue's really good. I don't know if you've even heard him. Because I think when Eric played this level, he just went to the get on with the level part, which is you got to talk to the robot guy, Bellic, who's voiced by
Okay.
Marcus. And so I don't know if he caught his own thing.
I must have jumped.
Oh,
Maybe I jumped back.
yes. It is Eric Bond.
He does really well, actually, Eric, on all the voices.
Yeah. So it's good. Yeah, we got to get him at some point. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll call a cutoff time to move on to the actual level, as Owen says, and get some proper like Octave encouraging us to blast motherfuckers.
All right,
If you're up for that.
I like this conversation. I mean, Winslow is an interesting character. He shows up a few times with me. What is it? Oh, there's this drugs, and there's also this drugs as well. This is another one that.
Greg, what's your inspiration behind coding the drug thing?
Oh well, I can't remember if I did this. I think I did the Psytrance rave level before this, and at least these drugs. And so the Psytrance rave level, there's like real drugs, and there's like acid and mushrooms and stuff. And so
they're flying around the screen every time you jump into them. You're like,
no, as in you go and like talk to
That's a different game.
Oh yeah, that's a different game. Yeah, no, that's Operation 420, which is also a good game. Kind of actually inspired by that game, and actually based on a club in Bristol. Is the layout of Psytrance Rave, and when we actually get to it, we'll do it. But you can basically go up to drug dealers and buy drugs off them, or not buy it, but they just give you drugs. And
amazing.
And then anyway, after that, we wanted some made up drugs for this place, and they're just different a bit. You know, they're not as they don't fuck with the colors and everything, but basically the thing with the drugs is you can just keep taking them. So I'm just hammering you right now, so it just becomes completely unplayable. You just I mean that's going to take a long time to wear off now, but I can't.
Who's to say?
Aw, I like Hector. He understands the future.
Wow, my
He knows what
my
it is to
connection's
be
also
tired.
freaking out. You think
Good with his greetings too.
Some would say that there
Probably doesn't encode very well over there.
have another second of length of life.
Wait, where's the?
Stradivarius is. Oh yeah, sorry.
Which is the conversation? The secret one? I can't.
Let me know if you want.
Oh, the secret one, you got to talk to Good Lips again.
All right. So
Scouted
this filler line is funny. I've seen a few
Your
places.
title: Usurpers, Usurers, and Us. It stands by its content alone,
Oh, this is Jazzy. Let's hear Jazzy.
covering for itself. None of this
That's Rob, who is also Johnny Five Aces.
modern, self-referencing
Amazing.
jokes. It stands by what it is for itself.
This is a meta-referential commentary on, I guess, this game as well as just approaches to fiction in general.
Yes, fleeting amateur
Hey.
giggles for fleeting amateur giggles.
Some of it I advocate, some of it I deliberately don't advocate. Jazzy also does a very good job, and it was very good of her to take on a big part. She actually recorded a lot more that's actually implemented in the game, but unfortunately some of it I couldn't be bothered to put in. But maybe if we make a point to, I'll stick the rest of it back in there.
Director's
help
cut.
Yeah.
you with your work, dear. She's a way to
Yeah.
go yet.
The OG version.
She's young.
She.
Pardon me. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Where's
So,
which way was Good Lips?
You are assuming.
Yeah, and then
2 people to the fucking right, I guess. If you can work out what the
Here we
fuck's
go,
going
yeah.
on.
Fox Cador. Oh, quick! Let's do this. Let's go outside. Head to a Raiders Oyster before the first measurement game.
How did you manage
Oh,
to
did
find
it
them,
skip
Greg?
Octave's line?
Oh, did I? Sorry.
like
I meant to skip the
Come on,
previous
we can all
line.
go.
Does he say it again? No. Oh, it's fucked it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna kill myself.
not
'cause I
so
can't
much
watch
a
it.
line as it is. No, it's fine. Not so much a line as it is Owen just going, "Wow."
What
Yeah.
pieces of
Or more mysterious torn up pieces of card.
That's a that's a reference that don't go through that door is a reference to who's the guy who plays Odo or something, like Rennie Alberts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's doing voice acting. It's an outtake, or he's doing voice acting work for a Legacy of Kain game. He's like, what is this for? Like a CD-ROM? And they're like, no, it's a video game. It's like, well, that's a lot of talk for a video game. I'm usually used to go through that door, not that door, asshole. Go through that door, something. Like that. So I gotta put that in.
All right, we'll talk about the Fertitta brothers briefly. So these are real people in the. They're also in the sort of Dan Quinn universe.
Are they? I didn't know anything about that. Don't get me sued. Shit, that was just coincidence.
They're obviously fictionalized parodies, so nothing to do with the real people.
Yeah.
This is Wenzel and Matt, isn't it?
Dionysus.
Yeah.
Why'd you put the big back?
Why? Because Dan Quinn
Have you heard about Eastern Kingdom?
is funny, and I wanted some of his kind of lore in the game, so he thinks they're out to get him. You know, there's a few other probably characters related to him, like this is a load of Vargos and other references to Dan Quinn. I guess the other thing to show here is you can actually shoot some of these people. So I think if you shoot her, she comes out with a. Is it Gladys Winterbourne? She comes out with a sawn off.
She's back.
Yeah, so she.
Oh, sick.
So you can kill her, I think, but she might kill me. Yeah.
Did you get a gun?
In this context, she's
No.
the rival of Good Lips, or whatever.
And then where's the other one? There's someone else here who you can. It's just a random guy, so you can
A
kill.
lot of the
You can kill Winslow Rue apparently.
But the point is nobody. It's in universe that nobody seems to care. Like you're shooting people in front of people, and people are so like, "Fuck you, got mine." They don't really seem to do anything or stop, etc. But
this
there's
one's
a whole
funny.
context there.
He's got like an energy shield and some like making some big metal fists to come and punch you. All right. Yeah. Anyway, I think should we go on to the next part?
Let's talk to Bellic and then we'll move on.
Do you think there's an optimal way to the game?
No,
Nor
who orchestrated it.
I can't hear all of that. I hear, is there an optimal way to the game, and then I'm lost.
To get the most storyline, like if you go and talk to the right people. To talk to the right
I've ruled out Hex Vibrata.
To get the most storyline, well, I guess the optimal way is if the aim is to get through it quickly, just talk to to Bellic, the robot guy here. If you want to get the most storyline and the most fucking content, I guess press U on everything.
Nice.
Which is good. Sometimes I don't know if you ever. So I used to like playing those Monkey Island games. I used to like fucking the dialogue heavy aspects of whatever fucking video game. So like if you ever want to fucking go back and bask in that shit, there's plenty of opportunity to do that in this game too, in places.
Have my go at distributing my own version of justice.
I like him drilling the opening in the wall.
Timothy police work. This is
Yeah.
the first regiment.
I think most of these lines that Jesse's saying here were for another cutscene, which we cut. So I just fucking used them in this. That's why they sound a little out of place, because they're just spliced in the fucking middle to make this make sense. Yeah.
Here's the next part then. So now we're going to shoot some tanks.
From what I can tell, we're talking. Fuck it, I don't know, man.
Oh, I believe
That's
in
not
you,
all.
Greg.
We've another wave hitting Feretta east of here. Didn't even know about that. Shame. Shame. Probably the best idea to pay them a visit, too, later at the canyon. Alright then, hit you up with anything else I get. Good luck then, alright? Shouldn't be too hard.
There we go.
Yeah.
This happens quite constantly. I like how you said it was very beautiful before, Owen. I wonder if you've changed your mind right now.
So good.
I fucking knew it. These guys are
A nice tree.
It must be a fucking joke or something. Like he's using us for garbage disposal.
I try not to die. I do actually sometimes die on this level. It's just getting lazy.
You can do this.
This is actually a very, very easy level. You
Yeah,
could.
it is. It's just quite boring.
I mean, with
so it takes, you know.
Yeah,
you
it
get
is.
complacent.
Yeah, I think for a long time you're like, and even I was like, I don't know how Def 1 evolved into what it is. It's I don't know.
Because
It kinda
basically we
just
wanted,
went with the bare concept.
but we wanted like, so you got Bellic and Khalees here, and Khalees gives you health, and Bellic like shoots down the missiles. But because they needed them to do something, right? Like, and you can talk to her as well, can't you?
That means just.
This might kill me. Ah! But yeah, we had to come up with a way where they kind of do stuff that doesn't just win the level for you, and you also have to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, oh, you can talk to Bellic.
Yeah.
I guess it's so easy because you keep getting like kick-ass advice all the time.
Yeah. And that also used to be so annoying because it didn't stop. Like every time you died, it would keep playing the same thing. In fact, I think it might still do that on this level. But
I think it still does that.
yeah, it might still do that on this level. Yeah.
Nice!
Good. Thank you. Thank you for saying it's nice, man.
That's all right, don't worry. I'm encouraging you, Greg. Greg, you're getting encouraged.
Yeah.
Plus one to all your rolls. What does this square do for jumping in, Greg?
Oh, so you got your mana here, right? So your mana, and
nice.
actually I haven't really been using it, but this gives you mana back, basically, your squares.
Okay, nice.
And so you can use your spells, so this is slow time, like that.
Okay, sick.
We raised it off the ground, like very partially, just because if you just stood in it,
Yeah, you could just put mana shield and be invincible.
Yeah, and just be like, make that completely redundant. It is pretty much redundant. Like, having you here, Owen, it's kind of influencing the outside perspective of what this must look like, and it's like, how is this a challenge at all? These rocket turrets that have come along, I guess they suddenly step up as a challenge. Like,
yeah, but you can see Bellic
if a
destroy
stray
them as
one
well.
comes and hits you. Yeah, so that's it. If you walk towards one where Bellic is not on screen, then his plasma thing might not take them out. But then again, Greg's playing on a giant resolution, so Bellic's probably always going to be on screen.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, Def 1 is weird. Def 1 is weird in a good way, in my opinion, because it's very experimental and it was very organically developed. It's kind of like added to both with improvisational fucking aspects and long-term planned aspects. That's a fucking term.
I think.
Yeah.
Like obviously, the only other games I've witnessed that Greg's ever made or coded seem like completely impossible. And so, like, that's the only kind of other reference.
Play, you mean? As in, difficulty.
Yeah, difficulty-wise, like it'd be like, all right, Owen, obviously you got to remember that everything on the screen can kill you. But there's a bunch of stuff coded in you can't see. You just have to know where they are. Also, if the screen goes blue at any point, take your hand off the keyboard, otherwise you'll instantly die.
That's
like,
not
holy
bad.
shit! No, you're right. But like this one's
pretty more like that.
This one looks like it's like vaguely achievable. But I also
the first few levels, yes, and then the next, like, I think after this level, actually, there's quite a significant step up in difficulty.
Nice.
So yeah, but I was very aware of that. That it's very easy to make a game that's way too hard. And so I tried it, but it's still way too hard. But it's.
I was gonna say like
it's slightly easier instruction.
Yeah, I think that also I've got to keep in mind that Greg is like naturally very good at these games.
Well,
and so,
I am.
Yeah, like.
But it's also like
watching complete Rocketron. And,
but
like,
also,
so,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So I think that you are like naturally quite coded.
But it's also, if you, I don't know how many hours this game took to make, but like a lot. So if I've played it all of that time, right, you lose perspective of how hard it is when you first come to it. So that's a big part of it. But also like, because and Dan as well, we're both used to how it is to play in the little nuances, and then you get someone to play the tutorial and they can't do a boost because they're standing in one corner where the character's like jiggling up and down, and then he doesn't realize that you're standing on the floor, so it doesn't let you jump. It's like, okay, you know, I would just know you have to stand back a bit, right? But if someone's just walking straight into it, so it's all that kind of stuff. And I think like
there's a lot of nuance.
because you know we made the original engine for this like what 15 years ago or some shit
Yeah.
plus, you know, and so yeah, there's things I would change, but once you're that deep in, I'm not going to go back and change it. So that
No, I
there's,
get that.
it's very like
I
unsmooth.
don't-
Some of the
That's where the professional would say you definitely should do that.
but the other
But
thing is
that's not what
it's-
we were doing, really.
no, and yeah, it's just pile more shit on top. That was the whole
I
philosophy.
mean, it
from
depends
the
what the
beginning.
time scale. I'm getting a big fucking echo of myself again, so I'm gonna take my
I'm getting
earphones
massive
out very
echoes.
briefly. The like, if you're aiming to get it out quick, then those errors won't compound and matter and be so like obviously things we should have earlier rectified earlier. It's I mean there's a time scale thing. It's weird. Like I've never I gotta it's a time scale thing. I'm babbling now because I've never articulated it myself before. It's I got to come back to this. I got to come back to this fucking subject and actually talk about that. There's a lot to say there. I got to think about it more. Fuck it.
All right, so I mean, anyway,
it's good though.
So we've completed the
It's also
level.
about, like, what you're trying to achieve, right? As like, because what you've managed to do over this time is like quite staggering, right? You've literally made a game. You've like grown a game from nothing, and that's massively impressive. And so for someone to come along at the end point and be like, "Whoa, you should have ironed out those kinks you got along," you're like, guys, we've literally been like building this.
No, but you are right. Like we should have ironed out the kinks. Even like if I make another game, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure the engine that you play it in is kind of intuitive and like things that this game is not. But like I say, you're so heavily invested at this point. And also the other thing, actually being a programmer, knowing what I'm doing now, the code is like so shit. It's like completely unrefactorable. Like all the if you edit one level, something fundamental like that, you have to paste it into like whatever 50 different levels or whatever we have, and it's not easy to do that. There's no like find and replace in the thing, so it's just like a nightmare to do anything like that. And actually that also made the game take a fuckload longer to finish. But
I think it's like this is the first time you guys have really ventured to doing something this size, right? And I think it'd be
this is
what's incredible is that, as you say, it's like you guys have managed to overcome all these things, and then next time you do it, you've now got all this wealth of knowledge to make it better. You know.
But the next one will be much smaller.
There's 2 cents. There's 2 cents I want to add actually very quickly, which is the main drive at the start was the spirit of the game, and though I've said it elsewhere, but it was never actually vocally said, but somehow subliminally acknowledged at the time that what our mission statement was we are not making a product here. We are going to experiment in a sandpit and just be genuine and passionate with what we want to do, even if that is kind of sardonic and fucking full of contempt in a way, and like some kind of like, this is shit but ha ha, because we were in our early 20s and we were, a lot of where I was coming from was, kind of like in some aggressive way, like, going against the grain just for the sake of doing it, despite knowing that it isn't productive to do that in some kind of way. And that's fine to do. And when I was bringing up the time frame earlier, I was kind of getting around to the fact that is fine to do, in my opinion, in a certain time scale. And I think if there's any issues of why it's not a good idea, it might be that if it drags on for too long, then it's not a good idea. I have some more to say at another time about overall wrapping up general advice of should you ever do something this ambitious. If anyone is listening and thinking of that, the spoiler warning is yes, you should, but there's a caveat, and we'll talk about the caveat later. But yeah, definitely go for it, and definitely go wild and experimental, and even to a self-sabotaging extent, fucking about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, just go for it.
Right, let's
Yeah.
let's wrap up this level then, and just so any final thoughts, Owen, before we go to the next cutscene.
No, I think that I'm excited to see where we're going.
All right, okay, let's keep going.
Okay, while we're over talking the cutscene, yeah, well, let's go for the cutscene. But I'll over talk it just very quickly. You can't see it right now, Owen, but you contributed a bunch of voices that went over a long, enduring, like it went over the all of Act 1 pretty much. So you are a constant re-emerging theme in this. So the contribution you give to it is sustained throughout. So it's a reoccurring thing that's there. So you're a heavy element in the game. That's pretty cool. And thanks for that.
Awesome.
After this here.
No, I'd like to also comment on the sweet knife animation in the last scene.
Oh
guy-
yeah,
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
I did
The
that.
knife round. That was good. That was good.
The president?
Yeah, it speeds up and slows down when it's waiting for a line to finish as well, which
nice.
which makes it look intentional there. But yeah,
He's done
that's it. This is a very long cutscene.
It's
If
very long. Actually, I
anyone's
forgot about this
got
one.
anything to say,
He knows that.
yeah, I'm gonna say if you got anything to say, go for it, because otherwise I'm just gonna bitch about what a pain this fucking cutscene was to make.
It got really laggy as well, didn't it? It's because of the way I had to break
It's
it
so
up.
long, and it was before we knew how to. The longer a cutscene goes, the more lag compounds. Until we figured out a way to fix that. But and when I say we, I don't know, Greg maybe
I
able
can't
to
even be
cover that
asked to
better
go
than I
into
am.
it. Basically, these were
Right.
coded in a really shit way. Is the TLDR there? One thing I will mention is these characters, or some of them, are like little mini bosses you fight later on, so that's quite fun.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah. The
Yeah.
architect there as well. He's a big Ayn Rand fan, that guy in the background there.
Yeah. He also mentions Eridanus Utamity, or whatever the fuck his name is.
I don't know
Big
what that
character, okay? The second time we've mentioned him in this Let's Play, okay? I'm just gonna totally relevant. Totally relevant. Yeah. So it compounds, and by the and there probably was a skip feature, but every time I was editing the latter halves of the fucking thing, I'd have to sit through it all, and it would get laggier the more that was like added to it, and also that's not the main reason it's annoying though. The main reason it's annoying is that it was written barely out of its first or second draft. So it's very immature. But it needed to be in there because it adds some kind of like
Take him someone else.
it's an introduction to the antagonists basically.
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
needs to come in. And all this early draft stuff was fucking recorded early and done, and I couldn't be fucked to re-record that and do it all again. And also that wasn't the spirit. The spirit was it's anarchic, you do it, and then you fucking get it done. And there's more of a fucking less stupid way to say that. But anyway, the point is that's what that was. And then I had to work on that dumb shit for fucking ages. It's like this is so dumb. It's taking so long. I'm working on this dumb shit for this particular cutscene. Many weren't like this. Many were very enjoyable, but this particular cutscene was the most challenging cutscene in terms of having to endure it. This particular one, but Greg likes it, so.
Here we go.
Not in
you
this
just
case.
be quiet for a second.
Overall, yes.
Will kill. Affiliation with no.
Well, when he comes in, is he coming in right? Oh,
Are you talking about Corp
it's so like here we go. Yeah.
Come to me.
It's so laggy. What the hell? Here we go. You see that little bit where it goes black?
Captured. All contingency bases are green, and our Balnae Pensiles.
So that's your boy Harry.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he does good.
Harry was supposed to voice 2. He was originally supposed to voice Ned Smith, as well. And if you don't know, Ned Smith has like fucking 8 podcasts worth of dialogue in addition to other shit. And like before, we hadn't recorded any yet, and like Greg eventually took the role of Ned Smith, and like before he did, we were like, what the fuck were we thinking? Why would we give Harry
Mr.
that
Harry.
much to do?
Yeah.
Because there's so much to do. And Corporal Punishment himself already has a lot. I guess he kind of serves as the main antagonist in Act 1, but he isn't really I mean, he's a bad guy, but I don't know. I mean, what's your impression, Greg, of Court Pun as a character?
He's good. Yeah, he was an old game that I made. But I think it crashed or got corrupted or something, and I thought I lost it. But then I found it years later, so it's actually included in this game in one of the computers you can find. It's the old Corporal Punishment original game. But yeah, he didn't really have a story then. I just did a couple of drawings of the guy with lots of cuts on his face, and I think we just ran with that. Yeah, he's good. I think Harry gives him a lot of character with the sort of growly voice, and then
Harry's doing such a good job.
Be careful lest he rush
You
us.
can see you can see my unsubtle. Oh yeah, sorry.
I got this stuff. This cutscene fucking sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my unsubtle feelings about this in the top corner.
So you can be sure their duties are compromised.
Right. But yeah, there's some more highlights coming up and stuff.
I think it's good. This serves as a little introduction a bit to some of the characters, like just to see the pictures.
That's what I mean. That's why I had to do this cutscene, because narratively it's very functional. Because so far cutscenes have been very all over the place, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Who's this faction? Why are you introducing more characters? So it was about time to fucking give the audience something to fucking follow.
Yeah,
so
and you
this
get,
cutscene absolutely needed to happen.
Like with Major Ironwood being insubordinate, I think that's a running theme as well, isn't it?
Fucking went and fetched it for me.
Yeah. So there's some drama going on with these guys that doesn't really have that much to do with you at first. It's just, if it was just done in a more mature way, the tone's just a bit too silly.
And this coffee bit is stupid.
Can you feel that?
It's so good.
Yeah. The slow removal. Originally, he's supposed to knock over the coffee, but he did. I was like, maybe it's funnier if he just slowly removes it.
It's easier to do.
There's an element to which it feels a bit like Team Girl Squad or something from like Strong Bad.
Nice.
In its nature, you know. And I think that there's
personally,
quite, innocence. And I know it's really vulgar and stuff. But there's also something about like the innocence of free expression that is just really joyful.
The situation, the most important moment.
Maybe
it helps that I know these people as well, and so I get to see them in these like crazy roles, which is really entertaining. But it's just so cool, you know.
I mean, if there's any reason why I advocate, you guys have a look at it. Definitely to see people being silly. Even though Eric came back, I think he's among the few of our peers who have got as far as other players. Like, he's got fairly far, and he's like, I don't know who the fuck is who. I don't recognize who's speaking. But that's, I guess, a testament to the good job they're doing in their voice acting. But
you can always
yeah,
one last edition, which is the Friends and Family edition, which every time someone comes on screen, it just tells you who's voicing them, and you're like, oh my god, it's Hugo.
It's in the credits. Actually, not who does who. It just has people's names.
Yeah, it doesn't assign a character. To be honest, though, you could code that in. If you want that in version 2, do you want that in version 2? Or?
I want that as an option that you can click where it will come up and tell you who's voicing everybody.
We'll add it to the trailer for sure.
Thank you.
There's one illustration missing there. There would be a mushroom cloud graffiti behind him, but by that point I couldn't be bothered. You mentioned Homestar Runner. Personally for me, yes. I mean, in general, Homestar Runners, and it's good to see the new generation starting to appreciate Homestar Runner, but appreciating Homestar Runner. It's got a kind of resurgence on fucking YouTube at the moment since Flash died. But yeah, no, a big fucking influence. Just for the precedent they set as well.
Yes,
kind of just we're gonna just set up our own universe of blah and go with it. And innocent, like you say.
Acknowledgement for how much you've sacrificed.
Yeah. Well,
So laggy at this point. What the fuck?
yeah,
It's
that's what I mean. This is what I mean about the annoyance with cutscenes. It's just like it just wouldn't come out smooth enough, you know. But you know, that's partially my fault for not fucking optimizing and learning how to use the program properly.
Well,
So whatever.
How you play? Look, gift.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of you.
I mean, I'm up for whatever. There's so many projects to fucking get on with.
Still
So.
the pride of our march, you know.
Yeah, it's so good. And like I was saying, man, those at the time processes of collaboration, that's when it's at its best. It's like, you know, just chilling out with it and having it. You got to plug some stuff, Owen. You got to plug some shit.
I got to plug some shit. Okay.
Yeah.
To all my fans in London, don't worry, my new show is coming to London. We've got to push it back until August. If you happen to be in Brighton, I've got a show coming called The Animator in February. If you're in Falmouth, same, February. If you're in Nottingham, same, February. I'm gonna be finishing my show in October in Norway. So after October, it's going to go live on the road. So stay tuned for that.
But you did not address me as sir.
It's fucking hell. Is this one in Norway, the animator as well? Or that's a different
Yeah.
show?
So it's the animator as well. We're going up there. There's this like Norwegian puppetry organization that kind of like amazing at making puppets and stuff. So we're going up there to get our show finished with them. They're going to add an extra little bit. They're going to also integrate some film, I think, which will be fun. And then it should be ready to go. We're almost there.
Okay. I'd say give us a synopsis if you want, but maybe that's too long for 2 minutes or however long we got.
Yeah. No, just come and see it. It'd be even better.
Oh, we got the Johnny
hopefully I'll
Smoke.
get to London next year. Yeah, you said that's got to get in the.
That's a Zyborn Clock reference. Oh yeah. Yeah, nice one. That's.
That was sick, guys. That was amazing.
Are we still recording or what?
We're still recording. Yeah, I guess let's sign off though. So next time we'll get another guest on, and we'll do Defend 2 or what's it called? Guest Domain.
And this was great fun, guys. So let me know if I can ever come back.
Oh, you'll definitely come back. There's a lot more levels to do. Well, yeah, thanks so much.
Cheers, man. That was good to have you.
All right, see
Lots
ya.
of love, man.